Good morning everyone. So, welcome to my yet another exciting lecture of HRM. Let me recapitalize as to what we did in the last lecture. I introduced you all to the subject of HRM along with its features, along its function and scope. Now, today what I am going to talk about the importance of HRM and of course, the qualities that are needed for an effective and efficient HR manager. So, let us go. We all know that the HR department is one of the most important department of any organization. Irrespective the organization is big or small, we need a very efficient HR department to handle various activities related to employment, related to people, related to work and so on and so forth. So, without having a specialized HR department, it is not possible that we can go ahead and get success. So, whether the big organization is there or the small organization is there, we all need to have a well developed HR managers or HR personnel to handle the different activities. It says that HRM can be important for both managers and employees. There are some points of importance of HRM in an organization. As you can see on the screen also, it is related with the formulation of HR policies, implementation of HR policies, review of employee needs, development of social welfare, utilization of HR, development of labor management relations and overall development of an organization. We all know that what is a policy? Policy is nothing but it's just a guideline that is given by the top management to the lower level of people so that the things can take place effectively. So is the case with HR also. So HR, whether it is related with recruitment, whether it is related with selection, training and development, performance appraisal, employee engagement, so on and so forth, we need different HR policies. Hence, HR department plays a very important role in the formulation of those policies and of course, implementation also. Then comes the employee needs. We all need people in an organization who are effective and efficient. So, they will be efficient and effective only once they are happy and satisfied. So, how do we understand whether they are happy or satisfied? It is with the help of identification of their problems or maybe the grievances that they are feeling or the things that makes them happy and satisfied. So, that observation has to be done by the HR department. Then comes the development of social welfare, utilization of HR. That means in the case of social welfare, people are happy and satisfied when they are socially secured. So, how they are socially secured? They are only socially secured with the help of the implementation of the correct and efficient labor laws. So, no one has the knowledge about labor laws. So, who has the knowledge about labor laws? It is only the HR department who has the knowledge and they are the ones who will actually implement also those labor laws in the best possible manner. Now, these labor laws, they could be related with their provident fund, they could be related with the gratuity, it could be related with workman compensation, it could be related with Factories Act 1948 or so on and so forth. Then comes the development of labor management relation. Now, labor management relation basically means that we know that HR is the mediator between the management and the employees. So, this HR department, they need to settle all kind of disputes, grievances, they need to provide all kind of facilities to the people and to the management also or guide the management from time to time what is the best for the organization as well as for the employees. And the last point, it's mentioned related with overall development of an organization. An organization will only get developed when people are happy and satisfied and the management is also happy and satisfied. How is it possible? When management does its work and the workers, they work what is expected out of them. Only then they move forward and the organization goes on to the next level. Then on the screen you can see the importance of HRM. Now, HRM plays a very important role in boosting up the entire profitability of the company. Now, maximum productivity and the profitability, as you can see the first point. Now, productivity, what is the meaning of productivity? As I had told you, that is also mentioned in my book also, that it's a combination of efficiency and effectiveness. And profitability, it is in terms of monetary terms or maybe in terms of sales figure. So, there are two things that are sold in the market. It is only the goods and the services. So, either you are selling goods or either you are selling services, you are going to get profit in some way or the other. And who is going to help you to reap these profit? It is only the effective people of the company. So, hence why HR is important, because it helps in improving the productivity of the entire organization and increasing the sales figure. And whenever there are increased sales figures, all the stakeholders in the company, they get benefited. Then secondly, it talks about the high quality of work. Now, high quality of work which basically says that the kind of work which is given by the workers, it is of supreme quality. That means there is no loss, there is no damage. That means there is more effectiveness or efficiency. So, how this efficiency is coming? It is only coming with the help of the trained workforce. And how we ensure that we have the trained workforce? It is only possible with the help of the HR department, because HR department identifies, or there is a concept which is known as a TNA, that is a training need assessment. The training need assessment is being done by the HR department and the respective heads, and then the HR department arranges for the various kind of training programs. And whenever there are training programs, it always results in the enhancement of skills, and whenever there is enhancements of skill, naturally people will be requiring less of supervision, and there would be less of the accident rates, and of course there would be less damage, and that is what it says, that there would be high quality of work. Then the third one on the screen which you can see is related with the helping employees achieve the set goals. Naturally, we have already spoken about this, that everyone is chasing the common objectives, and once we are chasing the common objectives, it is very, very essential that we are putting in our best efforts, and it is only possible when we are happy and satisfied. I should tell you one thing more, that it is just the goodwill of the organization that results in business. And how we come to know about the goodwill of the company? It is only with the publicity that one does with the help of employees. If employees are happy and satisfied, they are the carriers of the goodwill of the company. Then the fourth one that is mentioned is related with the importance of HRM. It says that building a corporate image. Now, everything in the market is the result of networking, and networking is a result of goodwill. So, how goodwill is made? Firstly, it is with the help of the company's product. Naturally, the products which are being sold in the market, they have to be high quality and less price, and my stakeholders, they should be happy and satisfied. So, who are the stakeholders? They are basically four stakeholders. One is your shareholders, another is your employees, your customers, and the outside world. And once we have all these stakeholders, but the most important is your employees. So, employees being the most important stakeholders, they have to be happy and satisfied, and they have to ensure that there is peace and democracy in the company, and the best quality products they come out in the market. So, once the best quality product they come out in the market, people will be happy and satisfied. So, when all these four stakeholders, whether it is the shareholders or the employees or the customers or the bankers or suppliers, anyone, when they are all happy, they help us in creating a very, very strong corporate image of the company, and that is what is actually driving force, taking the company to the next level. The next important point is related with the reducing the gap between the demand and supply. Now, demand and supply is a concept that we talk about, is related with HRP, human resource planning. That would be the next topic that I will be covering. Now, just to give you a bird's eye view about HRP, it says that we need to identify our current manpower. So, how many people do we need in an organization, and how many people do we have? So, if their number is less, so we can take people from outside, and if the number is more, then we can definitely retrench people or lay off them, or whatever the situation is. Then lastly, it talks about the improving teamwork. Now, improving teamwork basically talks about that team is a very, very important concept. The basic concept about team is that we convert I, me and myself, or rather me into we. So, once me is converted into we can achieve any target at any point of time, or in other words, we can say no target is far enough to be achieved. So, HR department helps us to foster that team spirit amongst all the team members of the organization, maybe with the help of various training programs, or maybe various get-togethers, or having a perfect flow of communication from top to bottom, and there are other ways also to boost up the team spirit. Then it says that the importance of HRM. This is a chart from my own book, Human Resource Management by Dr. Rakhi Gupta, and this is a chart which I have given in my book, which says that importance of HRM is not only for the managers of the company, but the importance of HR is also for the employees of the company. So, let us take each one of them. Like, once we talk about managers, or it could be your first line managers, or it could be related with the top management, and when we talk about employees, they are one of the very, very important stakeholders in the company. Now, let us take the first one. The first one which you can see on the screen is related with the recruitment. Now, recruitment, we all know that recruitment is nothing but is just the creation of the pool of eligible candidates from where we can select the best candidate. So, this is the responsibility of HR to decide how we are going to create that pool. So, either it could be through internal sources or it could be through external sources. So, one of the importance of HR is that the HR people, they have to be well equipped in handling the entire recruitment process, because recruitment process seems to be a very simple process, but once you get thousands and thousands of CVs, it becomes really difficult to identify which is the best candidate or to filter the CVs. So, HR has to be well equipped with that. Second one, communication of legal purpose. Now, the communication of legal purpose, it says that the entire company is related with laws. Whether you are starting a manufacturing unit, whether you are setting up a factory, or if you are having employees in an organization, they are all guided by the different laws. So, HR needs a perfect knowledge about the various labor laws that have to be implemented effectively in an organization. And it says that these labor laws, they are deceptively to be true. That means, it's a pun here. It says that deceptively, it seems easy, but it is very, very difficult. For example, labor laws, if it is related with the juggling of the salaries of the people or wages of the workers, it's very difficult to make it out what salary has to be given, how much deductions have to be made, which kind of deductions have to be made, whether medical, whether insurance, or maybe what kind of allowances they have to be added. There's so many things to be taken care in the case of compensation. So, these labor laws, they are deceptive, but it is very, very important, because once if we do not implement the labor laws properly, there would be a lot of chaos and lot of grievances which would be unsolved, and any grievance which is unsolved later on takes a very, very big shape, that is of a dispute, which we have to actually avoid. Then it talks about the reward management. Now, reward management, it says that RN and R, it says reward and recognition, even the slightest efforts of each one has to be actually appreciated. So, if any reward is given to anyone, it will definitely help in motivation and morale. Let me make it clear, motivation is for the individual purpose and morale is for the team or entire group. So, whether you are working individually or whether you are working in a team, the motivation and the morale level has to go up. So, how will it go up? It will only go up with the help of the reward and recognition. So, entire reward management has to be taken care by the HR management. So, this reward could be in terms of the incentives, cash prizes, or maybe in small kind of ceremonies. It could be in form of the trophies, it could be in form of citation, so on and so forth. So, it says that identification of people who are like-minded in the organization is very, very essential. So, motivating people to the maximum level so that they can contribute to the overall organization's effectiveness. So, HR department will have a rigorous performance and reward system to ensure that people are nurtured to be future superstar employees. The next one which you can see on the screen is related with learning and development for leaders. Now, it says that learning is a never-ending process. Hence, the company's HR department can help in building the company by providing training and coaching programs for the managers. It will help them to be better equipped to take care of the employees in their respective departments. So, it says that it will facilitate a manager to be independent in problem solving and next time would effectively control the problem without taking it to higher level. Thus, HR helps to develop leaders and employees at all levels. Then the fourth point, it talks about the outlining position descriptions, requirements and KPIs. It says that the main aim of any organization is to maximize organization's performance, effectiveness, and of course to create a perfect culture. So, how it is possible? It is only possible when they know the people who are joining the company, the people who are becoming the employees, they know what is expected out of them, they have the role clarity, they know what are their KPIs. Now, what is KPI? Is a key performing indicators. So, they can be different kind of indicators that help us to see what kind of performance is being given by the employees. So, how do we decide on those indicators? Again, it is the work which is done by the HR department in the form of job analysis. I will be covering those topics in my future lectures also. but for the moment you just have to understand that job analysis is nothing but it's just related with the job description and job specification. So, when we talk about job description, it is related with the duties and responsibilities which one has to handle, and specification is basically the minimum criteria that one has to fulfill to be eligible to be a part of that particular job profile. Then it says that in the case of this outlining position description requirement and KPIs, definitely there is an important need to find a candidate that suits the company needs and standard. So, we need an employee who can actually achieve those targets which are set by the people. So, we have to go out with lens and find out who is the most suitable candidate for our company, and then we move on. The next one on the screen which you can see is related with the training and induction. Now, training and induction, we know that training is nothing, is just the brushing up of the skills of an individual. So, once we have the brushing up of the skills, it will definitely enhance the personality of the one, and definitely there are three words KSA: knowledge, skills and abilities. So, one has to be a reservoir of huge knowledge so that no one is able to shake you. One has to be full of skills. These skills could be related with anything. It could be related with your communication, marketing, analytical skills, or maybe some specific kind of technical skills, so on and so forth, and of course to boost up the ability. So, who does the entire process of training? It is actually done by the HR department, because no other department has time to take out and arrange for the entire training programs. So, this is actually the prerogative or the work or the function of HR department to arrange for the proper training programs. Now, again, when I will be talking about trainings, it's a wonderful lecture that I have on training, where I will be delving deep down about the 6 T's. I will not discuss about those 6 T's right here, but I will be discussing in my future lectures. So, entire training program has to be taken care by the employees. And then why this induction is important? Because it is very, very essential that anyone who is joining the company is made comfortable. These new people, they are made aware about the entire company, whether it is related with the mission, whether it is related with mission, or maybe the objectives, or the statement, or the compensation, or the holidays, or the packages, or about anything which is related with the absence, anything which is related with their pay package, incentive, bonus, workman compensation, social security, anything which is related with their training, anything which is related with their performance appraisal, so on and so forth. So, there can be different kind of induction or the orientation programs that can be conducted by the company. See, these induction or orientation programs, it could be ranging from 1 day to 7 days probably. So, once we have a huge program being conducted for the employees, they feel comfortable and they get adjusted very easily. And at times HR department, what they do is they provide the new employees with a handbook. So, once we are sitting or you are sitting in an induction program, it is not possible for you to retain everything. So, retention power is not that very strong. In that case, a kind of a handbook is given by the HR department to the all employees, and which mentions everything, that your pay package will be like this, or maybe the compensation will be this, or the incentives will be like this, or maybe you will be getting next increment, anything about the holidays, anything about the discipline action, anything about the compensation, about the facilities, about the company, about the product, about the history, so on and so forth. So, that is why it is a very, very important aspect for HR, because it is very essential that anyone who is joining the company has a perfect knowledge about the entire company's overall personality, and of course, or the overall structure of the company. So, how they do it, it is only with the help of HR department. Then it says that why HR is important for employees also. Now, every employee who is working in the company, it is quite apparent that HR department is the voice of the employees, and HR department actually mediates between the company and the people. So, there are various labor laws which are for the well-being of the employees. If labor laws are enforced properly, then there will be no problem. So, it is the responsibility of the HR department to appraise the higher management about the laws and ensure that they are timely enforced. Hence, it is important for the employees also, because HR department helps them to have those perfect provisions related with their labor laws. Then, The second one, it talks about the employee management relationship or employee relationship management. It says, as I told you, that HR actually mediates the relationship between the workers and the employers or the trade union or the government. So, collective labor laws relating to the tripartite relationship between employee, employer and union. So, it is all facilitated by the HR managers only. So, HR department knows that it can be tough working under a lot of pressure, or even more so when the managers, they don't know how to properly handle employee issues. They intend to smooth over the relationship issues between managers and work to safeguard both parties' interest, whether the employees or whether the employers. The third one, which you can see on the screen, is related with the disciplinary approach. It says that the HR people, they work as observers and they see that if any employee is served with any kind of disciplinary action, it is justified. They ensure that the punishments which are given to the employees, they are in proportion to the gravity of the offense. For example, it says that an employee is going to be terminated for an offense. Then the HR department will ascertain that the offense is indeed worthy of that termination or no. Or if an employee is being very harshly penalized over a trivial mistake, then also it is not justified. Hence, HR department takes into cognizance that the disciplinary action which is taken against the employee is justified. So, no employee is too harshly penalized over trivial issues, or any employee who has been terminated, their termination is justified or no. So, these are the points related with the importance of HRM. So, let me come to the another very important topic today, my dear friends. It's related with the qualities of an HR manager. So, all those people who are watching this video, and if you want to be a perfect HR managers, or if you want to be in the HR department, following qualities are needed. The first one, which is mentioned on the screen, is all related with the integrity. So, it says that there is a concept of fidelity and secrecy. So, there is a kind of a psychological contract that we sign with the company, okay, that if I am working with a company, there is a psychological contract that whatever information is there about the company, that secrecy will be maintained. So, that kind of honesty and integrity would be maintained by the employee of the company. The second one, it talks about the ethics. Now, ethics, they are basically nothing, but they are just the manners that we expect. So, ethically, we should not do anything which is not correct, or which can be detrimental to the interest of the company on the whole. So, we have to follow those ethics in the perfect manner, and then above all, we all need to have those kind of perfect communication skill also, where we can communicate our point, our views, our suggestion, our ideas, our thoughts to the other person. So, as an HR executive, HR professional, it is very essential to maintain the integrity of the company, to be very ethically correct, and then move on. Then the third one, it talks about the self-discipline. So, once we talk about the self-discipline, it's all related with adherence to the rules and regulation. So, the adherence to the rules and regulation of the company, it's very essential. Any kind of misconduct is conducted by the employees, they are penalized, and that is what we said in the last slide, that we have to ensure why HR is important, because we have to ensure that no innocent employee is being penalized over trivial issues, or anyone is penalized too harshly. Another one is talking about the communication. It talks about the communication, that without being able to effectively communicate to the employees, HR will not be able to meet its goal. So, it's very essential that they are able to communicate effectively. Then the third one, the next one we have is empathy. Empathy is basically nothing but placing yourself in the shoes of others. So, if we have that feeling of placing ourselves in the shoes of others, then we can actually better understand what the person's need or desires are, and then we can handle the situation in the best possible manner. Then the third one, then the next one, it talks about the problem solving. Now, problem solving basically, it says that the person should be so much clear, though there should be clarity of thought how the problems they have to be solved, because if the problems they are not solved, So, any grievance, any dissatisfaction, any complaint, it can turn into a big dispute. So, we have to have understanding that how I or she or HR department personnel as an executive, they can solve the problem to the best of capability without having any loss to the any kind of people. So, definitely it is again a kind of a very orderly approach where we have to understand that whether the problems, what are the problems, how those problems are going to be handled effectively. So, that is the prerogative of the HR manager only. Then creativity. Creativity is another very important thing, because the one has to be a multitasker as an HR manager, and it says that the one has to be very good with the time management, or maybe the person should have the kind of right attitude, or he should have that kind of foresightedness to see, the person should be quite patient enough, the person should have that kind of enthusiastic approach, he or she should be a perfect mentor, he or she should be quite a disciplined person. So, it is only possible when we are creative enough. And that creativity also comes with our thought process, how creatively we can handle a particular situation, or how effectively we can solve a particular problem. So, it is only how we can solve it, it is only with the help of experience. So, if you want to be a perfect HR manager of any company, you have to be experienced with the various functions which are actually being performed by him or her. So, one has to be creative, one has to be problem solving, there has to be a self discipline that has to be imposed, so that there is a orderly approach, there is proper time management, there is personal efficiency, and these things are nothing, they are just the key to the HR effectiveness. Then we talk about the strategic thinker. Now, strategic thinker basically says that the person should have the understanding how to actually judge a situation, how to apply judgment to the disputes, or any issue or any difficult situation that may arise in any business. So, one has to strategically think how, if any decision is being taken, how it is going to impact the entire organization in the long run. So, whether it is as I just discussed with you, that there has to be a sense of ethics also, from dealing with private personal information to ensuring the company's needs are met. So, it is only possible once our HR manager is strategically good thinker, who can actually think in the long run also, taking one action, how it can be beneficial for the company in the long run, or how it can be a detriment in the short run also. So, definitely that is very essentially. Then technology upgraded, it says that any person, HR executive, HR department demonstrate effective business acumen by understanding the organization's operation and functions. So, it says that for HR, business knowledge is the power. So, when knowledge is power, therefore, it is essential that to understand the intricacies of the organization and division, but also the bigger picture of which it forms the part, that is the industry. The HR people, they should have perfect knowledge about the industry in which they are operating, about their competitive environment, their economic, political, social factors that can have an impact, and however, future HR managers should also be able to profit them the increasing body of knowledge and experience of the present and the past managers. So, they are able to serve the company in a better way. Then it says about the multitasking. Now, as an HR manager, it is important that they have to keep on juggling different situations. So, they have to handle different situation, different set of people, different people or conditions. So, they have to juggle from one situation to the another. So, it is the ability of the HR in the long run, how they are going to handle those situations, how they are going to schedule the appointments, for example, how they are going to handle recruitment, selection, training, so on and so forth. So, they have to be good multitasker. That means right from the recruitment from one point and to the retention to the next. So, they with such a wide range of tasks to complete, tasks that often require very different skill set. Thus, an HR professional should be able to handle different situations effectively at the same time without doing injustice to any of them. Then it says about the legal knowledge. As I told you, any law degree added to any HR professional is just an added advantage, because we know about the labor laws that are governing the organization, and apart from the labor laws, there are other laws also that govern the company. So, there are different other key personnel which are a part of the company. For example, we have got company secretary or auditors, they also have perfect knowledge about laws. But if you have additional knowledge about a law, it's just an icing on the cake. Then it talks about the interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills, basically the kind of relationship that one has. One has to be social enough to interact with people, and it could be where one HR managers, since they work as mediators between the workers and management of the organization, they should have that kind of positive attitude. They should be able to cultivate the sense of cooperation and coordination, that kind of positiveness, human outlook, helping nature, and build a strong interpersonal relationship with everyone. It could be related with the superiors, it could be related with subordinates, it could be related with our colleagues, or maybe the different stakeholders also. So, any kind of negative attitude in the company, that will not work him. So, a positive outlook of interacting with people, building up the social circle will definitely help HR manager to achieve its goals in time. Then it talks about the negotiation skills. Now, negotiation skill basically says that a person should be a good negotiator. That means every now and then the HR has to mediate. It could be the mediation between the management and the workers. It could be related with the compensation. It could be related with business deals. It could be anything. So, right from compensation to work responsibilities, duties, so on and so forth, an HR has to effectively negotiate and ensure that the parties involved in the business are getting benefited to the maximum level. So, negotiation skill is one of the most important skill, or in other words we can say one of the most desirable quality in an HR manager, that is our negotiation skill. Then it has the last one we talk about, second last is all related with influencing personality. Now, when we talk about the influencing personality, it basically says that a person should be, HR professional is expected to be efficient in all the aspect. An HR professional should be an all-rounder in terms of the time management, in terms of having a positive attitude, in terms of being a good leader, in terms of being an enthusiastic coach or mentor, or they know and understand what motivates different employees and strive to become a source of encouragement, or they are the ones who are perfectly having a perfect self-discipline in themselves. They are trustworthy, they are honest, their integrity is maintained, they are not cheaters, they are not traitors, and of course they have the abilities like planning, forecasting, organizing, coordination, controlling, delegation, self-monitoring, or maybe self-motivation. So, these are the personalities which help a person to leave a different kind of impact on the company and take the company to the next level. And lastly, it talks about the good data interpretation. Now, good data interpretation is nothing but it just says that the HR personnel should have a perfect knowledge about HR analytics. The person should be able to handle different situations at the same time. They should be able to juggle with different kind of figures, right from the budgeting, right from the training, right from the costing, right from the HR accounting, how much money is being spent on an employee and what kind of returns we are getting from the person, so on and so forth. So, in a gist, overall it says that an HR personnel should be a person who should have a myriad category of skill set with them. So, if you are willing to be one of the HR personnel, I am sure you have most of them, but what is mostly required is just to make the best use of them. Thank you.